Welcome to the Scoop World Order. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great day today. I got some doubleheader Monday Night Football, which is always great. The Bengals are playing in the late game versus Washington, so we're going to get through this thing pretty quick, about an hour. Take your questions. As always, we're going to break some film down tonight. I know that you guys love that. Appreciate all the comments, all the whys. If you guys enjoy the film breakdowns, something you can do to help us that is huge is go on Apple Podcasts, click on your iPhone, and also click on Spotify. Follow Buckeye Scoop. It has been huge. A lot of you guys, I can tell tons of you guys are doing that. Our numbers are really doing well. We appreciate you guys so much for helping us build out all of our platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Again, we're really trying to help grow this podcast. Share it with your friends. Let them know that this is the place to get the goods on Inside Ohio State Football. Again, we appreciate you guys so much. If you guys enjoy our film breakdowns, click a Y or type yes in the comments. Again, I love seeing that because, again, I love feedback from you guys. So we appreciate you guys. If you enjoy the rest of our content, please leave us a like, click subscribe. Also, click that little alert bell. Again, 7 days a week, folks. We're grinding all the way through the season and even the off season. So we're going on Sundays. We're going on Christmas. We're going New Year's Eve. But we love it. Scoop family is amazing. You guys are amazing. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a huge show because you guys make it one. And we never forget that. So we're very thankful for all you guys. Very thankful and grateful for you guys. So if you guys had a great day, we're going to get right into it with my good friend, Nevadabuck. Nevada, nice test this week with the Michigan State Spartans. They have an outstanding freshman. They have a nice quarterback in Giles. The head coach is a guy that is ascending. Looks like a decent challenge. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the magnitude of like an Oregon, but it's good to have like a first road test and it's not a juggernaut, so to speak. So these guys can get a little juiced up. I used to love playing in road games. Again, there's pros and cons to both. Again, obviously the home games are fun because you're done after the game and you can go straight home and it's easy. But road games are fun because I always kind of like that WWF wrestling villain type thing where everybody boos you. Because you know me, there's nobody in the world that likes to be booed more than I do. So I used to love that. I used to love making the entire stadium silent and beating the tar out of them in front of their family and their loved ones and their girlfriends. And that's always the fun part about going on the road. You have a chance to do that. So what are your thoughts as we head into this Michigan State tilt? This is a 7 o'clock game on the vaunted Peacock Network, which I know everyone in the universe hates. But what are your thoughts as of Monday today?
I mean, it's funny, and this may be a minority viewpoint, and you and I haven't even talked about this, and I'm not sure how people feel out there in podcast land, but I think Michigan State's better than people think. I mean, I really liked Boston College. I liked the job that Bill O'Brien had done with the offense. I liked the way they kind of come up and kind of develop some things. And Michigan State gave Boston College a game. They were leading. I think they lost 23-19 or something like that. And I think Michigan State's going to be a nice test for Ohio State. And now I just happen to think Ohio State's a super team. And when you're a super team, generally, those things end up in lopsided scores. But I think this one's going to be a little bit closer. I think people that are expecting Ohio State just to walk through Michigan State and have this to not even be a competitive game, I'm not seeing it that way. And but that's why gambling is awesome, and people have different opinion. Whenever you see a betting line, always remember 50% of the world is on one side and 50% of the world is on the other side. So half the people are going to be right and half the people are going to be wrong. But I just have a feeling this game might be a little bit closer, at least for a bit, than people think, because Michigan State's got some weapons. Michigan State's got a mobile quarterback, which has been a bugaboo for Ohio State for quite some time. And last week, frankly, Marshall's most successful plays were quarterback leads and quarterback runs. So I think this is a great test for Ohio State. It's a great test for them to take another step and improve the defense and fix some of the things that were wrong last week against Marshall. But Michigan State's going to be a good test. Decent team, and I know they'll be jacked up to play Ohio State, so I think it's going to be a nice matchup.
I honest to God thought you were going to say, I'm in the minority here, but I think that Peacock is an amazing network, and I love subscribing to it. I thought that's where you're going to go, just be the king of all trolls. Say,
Yellowstone, right?
Yellowstone. There you go. It's like
Yellowstone. So
it's better than The Sopranos, right?
I've only watched 3 episodes of Yellowstone. I watched that on a plane, and I got 3 episodes. So I'm saving it. I'm saving my little series. People, love Yellowstone. I've only watched 3 episodes of season 1, but I'm going to pick up more as we're kind of going along. But I'm kind of saving I'm working through The Sopranos right now. I'm going to go back and do The Wire and stuff, but I'm going to move on to Yellowstone. But yeah, so, but I digress.
Have you ever watched Goliath?
No, never.
Oh my God, I'm rewatching it right now. It's Billy Bob Thornton. It's on Amazon Prime. If you guys love like it's just a great show. He's an attorney in it, and he's kind of like a bad Santa-ish attorney, but it's more serious than that. But
does he say stuff like "I want some of them fried taters"? Does he say stuff like that?
does he? When does he say that? Does he say that?
Come on, that was the most famous. That was Sling Blade, man. He won an Academy Award for that. Give me some of them fried taters. Come on.
I was like, did he say that in Bad Santa? Because I must have missed that. That's
No,
like
come on.
movies.
He won Academy Award. Come on, man. That was perfect.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Yeah,
Sling Blade. Oh God. Well, I think that something that was interesting, and I want to get your opinion on this. So they named the players of the game. Trey and Quinshawn were obviously the offensive players of the game. Lorenzo Salas Jr. was the special teams player of the game. Jim Knowles did not pick a defensive player of the game. Nevada, your reaction to that? Because I was a little surprised, given that we gave up 250 yards or whatever and 14 points. I was like, that seems like it's good enough for somebody to get something. Now, I don't know who you'd give it to, but you see, maybe there'd be somebody that would do it. Maybe somebody was good in coverage, but again, I don't know. Was that a little surprising that we did not have? We gave up 14 points and we didn't give it a defensive player of the game. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, Knowles was not happy. Knowles was not happy with the effort. He was not happy with the assignment football that they played on Saturday. And really, gun to my head, if you're like Nevada, you have to give a player the game. Lathan Ransom maybe, but everybody else was really average. JT, Jack, Cody Simon, Sonny New, Denzel Burke, Iggy. It would be really hard to come up with a player of the game defensively, which is really a tribute to the high expectations that we have for our defense right now. But it's kind of what we were saying. I gave the defense. I want to say I gave them a B-. I might have given them a C+, but it was a good defense. It was like I said, it was one of those ones where you can't be too mad, but I understand where Knowles is coming from. And when they went back to the film and they graded the film, a lot of mistakes on film. A lot of guys playing hero ball, not doing their jobs, allowing the quarterbacks to break contain, allowing the quarterbacks to run free, a lot of guys to extend plays, make plays. So Knowles was not happy. It was not a happy film review. The defensive room has not been a happy place. Now, will they take that on Michigan State this week? I would expect so. I would expect to see a much crisper defensive effort this week from the Buckeyes. But no, I'm not. I haven't seen that for a while. In a game that you win where you only give up 14 points. But the expectations are so high for this defense that I totally understand it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it might send a message to the defense that maybe the effort wasn't acceptable. There were enough things. Again, I don't, like you said, gun to my head, I don't know who I'd give the player of the game to. I don't know if there was maybe I missed something. Mitchell Melton kind of flashed in garbage time. Caden Curry had a sack where the guard just let him go. So I don't know if I give him a huge credit for that sack. The guard literally just let him go, and he ran right into the quarterback, and he didn't hit a move. It wasn't some effort play. He just ran. It was terrible. So I don't know. I guess I see it. It's a little surprising, but I thought, Lorenzo Salas Jr. did great on special teams coverage again. He's playing more and more on defense. So, I think the heat's getting turned up on some guys, but I think that some guys are, kind of, I don't want to say they're stuck, but there's some guys that I think that they want to rotate more guys through if guys step up. Like if Arvell steps up, you turn the heat up on Sonny. CJ is kind of in the wilderness at this point. It's truly bizarre how little we get out of CJ Hicks at this point. When he's in year 3 at this point. This isn't he's not a young player anymore. This is a guy that he's draft eligible. So, Gabe Powers, you get him in there, Peyton Pierce, like you got to turn the heat up on guys that aren't performing. and it's going to be really interesting. And I also think that we missed Tyleek. I thought Hero was okay. I didn't think he was great, but obviously it was his first start. I think Cade McDonald is better, but he's a nose and not a 3 technique. So when you get Tyleek playing 3, it's a different ball of wax. You got to put it in your backup 3 technique. But like I said, it wasn't. It's hard for me to look at the box score and see the numbers and know that we're number 2 in the nation in like total defense and be upset and up in arms and fussy and crying. Granted, I know we've played basically 3 MAC teams. I know Marshall's not in the MAC. When I grew up, they were in the MAC. So, we haven't played a Big Ten team yet. I get that. We haven't played a superpower yet. I get that. But, you'd only play who's in front of you. And, our schedule, the business is about to pick up. I think Iowa's better than they've been. I think Michigan State's better than they've been. I think Oregon's going to be a challenge out there. What are your thoughts on the Iowa game being 3:30? I was actually praying that it would be a 3:30 because I didn't want to have us play in a night game and then have to fly to the Pacific Northwest on potentially a Thursday. Because, again, I think that rest is so critical. And I know it sounds cliche and whatever, but I think that resting is so important at this time of the season, especially when you've got that long trip. You got to get some rest on these kids. But what were your thoughts with the Iowa game being a 3:30 gray out?
I mean, I think that's fun. I mean, you know me. This is one of our rare areas of disagreement. I hate the noon games. You love the noon games. I like the night. I love the night games. You hate the night games. So 3:30 is like a nice little compromise. And I think it's I think it's good. I think it's good. It just it's taking some getting used to, though. Finding, like, I never used to think about where I'd watch the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, what streaming platform or whatever it is. But, man, college football has changed now. I'm like, are we on CBS, NBC, ESPN, Fubo TV? Like, where exactly
Fox.
is our game stream? Fox? I mean, like, where's our game streaming this
Peacock.
week? Peacock's got Yellowstone. I don't know if they have Yellowstone. You know that?
I think they've got WWF too.
That stars Kevin Costner. He was he was in Dances with Wolves too. You know that?
Was he the guy? Was he in the McDonald's movie too? I think that was him too.
No, he was not in the McDonald's. What are you talking about?
Who's Kevin Costner? I know who Kevin Costner is. The founder.
The
who's
founder,
that? Was that
Michael
Kevin Costner?
Keaton. That's Michael Keaton.
Same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. Those are different people. Completely different people.
No, they're all at the Diddy parties. You know that.
The Diddy party.
Once you're at the Diddy party, you're all the same to me.
Oh man.
All right, let's break some film. I'm not going to break down the Cody Simon thing. I'm gonna the cover zero thing that heard around the world. I'm gonna get to some offensive stuff. We've got that in here. This was it was interesting not setting the thing to the field. I will say, who I would have given the defensive MVP to now that I think of it, Nevada. Who's been like an absolute monster defensively this year?
No idea.
No idea, really. I mean, I wasn't sure if you watched the games or if you just read the Pro Football Focus box scores.
Look, I don't even watch the games. I just read the PFF thing and then just do my stories
right here.
After that.
I think the best defensive player that has been on the field this year in Ohio Stadium has been the turf monster. Watch him right here. Look at that! Look at that play. I mean, this looks like it's like we put a banana peel on the field. Our turf that is probably about 8 years overdue. I've seen more guys slip. Like, look at this. I mean, he just falls down. It's like, this is great. And this counts as a tackle for a loss for him. Tackle for loss. Put it on the stat sheet, baby. But the turf monster has been something else this year. Again, if I'm Taiwan Malone and I get that big NIL deal, I'd be hyped too, man. I'd be like, I just got my first tackle of the year, and all I had to do is touch the guy, and then I get to hit the Q dog. Ugh. I'm just like, I mean, he's pumped though. I mean, good for him. I mean, like, literally, look at this. They're reading of it. I mean, look at this. I mean, is this ice? It touches him, Then he gets up and hits the Bo Kringle, I don't know. Our turf's been funny. I mean, Ennis ate it too. Here's our boy. I think Q gets a swing here. I think that this is why this kid's going to be a first round pick, man. Because this kid, he's Kamara. I mean, he hits this little swing. This is so easy. This is like stealing. You got this poor cat has to go cover this kid. This kid runs a 4.3, and you got this linebacker's out in space, all this green grass. This is a tough cover. That's an easy throw, a quick what? Oh God! And look at this. Face meet palm. Like, again, that's just so easy. Like, that's why I love plays like that, because like the O-line doesn't have to block a soul on this play. You have to block for about a half a millisecond here. Really, I mean, the only guy's got to get anything is him. These guys all stonewall these guys. Ball's gone, and it's gone. And that's a free first down when you got a guy like Quinshawn. Nevada, how much do you think the backs, in your mind, in terms of requisite utilization, how much should we be throwing the ball to Trey and Quinshawn? Because I think they're both excellent receivers. They're both guys that smooth hands. They can hit a swing route or an arrow route, a dot route, real simple routes. Like, should we be throwing the ball to the backs more to get them even more involved, or are you good with their usage out of the backfield right now?
No, I mean, I don't think you can throw it enough to those guys, and because it sets up everything else that you do. Because when you do that, and so then the defense starts creeping up to try to take that away or to kind of force you into something. Then you go over the top on them, and that's kind of what the whole one of the basic tenets of the Chip Kelly offense is sequencing, and he loves to sequence that stuff. And when you force those linebackers, those safeties to come up and deal with Trey or Quinshawn, in the open field with space, we've always talked about for years about getting the ball to your playmakers in space. Well, this is the ultimate play for that. Swing the pass out to your running back with a full head of steam and let the guy try to make a tackle on him. And if he misses, you're at least 12, 15, 20 yards. And even if he makes the tackle, you got 5 or 6 and you're going on the second down. So no, I don't think we can do that enough. And both those guys have got great hands. They worked exceedingly hard on their receiving over the summer. And it's really paying dividends because, we're not dropping balls, on those guys. They're not fighting the ball when it comes into them. And they're catching the ball in stride and being able to get those yards after the catch. So, no, for me, I don't think you can throw it enough to them. And I would do that multiple times a day.
Yeah, I mean, like when you watch, two of the best running backs in the NFL that are playing right now, obviously McCaffrey is a great receiving threat, but you look at Kamara and Saquon, those guys get a lot of targets. And again, I think that's something that it takes the heat off the running game. To me, it's basically an extension of the running game because it's basically like running a toss sweep, except you get the ball out there even quicker when you throw it out there. But you got some poor linebacker who has to go cover Quinshawn in man coverage, man, and that is so painful and so awful. And like again, I love wearing those guys out. Like Urban, who had some of the greatest one-liners of all time, he said he'd always look for the Midwest Mike, which again he had a term for linebackers that had like cowboy collars and like a knee brace and a cowboy collar or a big roll on his neck, and he'd call those guys Midwest Mice because it was like they were slow. They're guys that couldn't run, so those are the guys that he would wear out on stuff like that, on little dart routes with when he had Demps and Percy Harvin in the background. He'd just throw it out to him, make some Midwest Mike chase him, and wear that dude out and pass coverage because like those guys are built for the run game. They're not built to go out and cover Quinshawn Judkins in the flat. But I love that, and again, I think that it really helps their draft stock. Obviously, their running ability has been superlative, and it's funny. Like literally the next play, it's the long run. We broke this down on our post game. Again, if you guys enjoy our post game show, put a Y in the chat. We try to break film down during the post game show so that you guys have a little bit of a sense of what's going on. We always like to rewatch it a little bit. I go to the game. This obviously for the away game, I'm not going to go, but we like to do some film breakdowns immediately so that you guys can get a little sense of what was going on. But I'm going to break this play down. This was one that I broke down on the post show, but this is beautiful by the offensive line, beautiful by JJ, the whole crew. I mean, this is really well done. Excuse me, Carnell. JJ's down bottom. So you got JJ down here. Obviously, I meant Carnell. Carnell comes up here, gets his little seal. Josh Simmons is excellent here. Josh, this is kind of like a delay. Josh is really forcing this guy to come upfield this way. He's almost kind of like a draw set. and then he jackknives him out of there. But you look at, he really wants to make sure that this guy doesn't cross face because he has no help. So he steps inside and kind of just wheels him. And then they're doubling up here. Everyone's covered up. Everything's nice and easy. Double, seal. And then it's Quinn pushing and heading to the crib. And this is just so excellent because, again, this is a front side zone duo. I mean, inside zone and duo are kind of basically the same play. These guys are both working up. You get your double. You get these guys here covering these guys up. So it's basically he's got to make the play or he's got to make the play. He's cracking down. And this corner, this corner is off in Neverland, so he's out of the play, running the wrong way. And Quinshawn presses this, which is excellent. And he sees, his vision can see this crease, and he just winds it back here, and it's a race to the pylon. And again, I know people like to complain and cry about everything, but I'm going to enjoy every second of Quinshawn Judkins being a Buckeye that he's here. And I know that there's some people that don't like NIL and they want that old thing back, but I don't. I love having Quinshawn Judkins as a compliment to Trey because this is going to be a really long season. And again, those guys, when you have, it's one thing to have one superstar franchise back like Trey Henderson is, but when you have two, it's unfair. It's ungodly. It's unbelievable. So again, I don't cry the blues about everything because I'm going to enjoy every single second of watching these guys play because we might never see a duo of backs like this ever again. And again, I know that Ohio State's been around for 100 years or whatever, but I've never seen a duo this good. And again, I think the closest I've seen was probably Pittman and Beanie. Maybe Ezekiel and Curtis Samuels was similar, but I think these two guys are closer to Ezekiel than Curtis Samuel. These guys are true running backs. Curtis was kind of an H-back type guy that Urban used, but I love watching these guys. Nevada, your thoughts on Quinshawn, because he's a monster now.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the combination of the two that makes the thing so special because, there's just no drop off. There's no drop off in our running back production, and keep your fingers crossed because, so far 3 games through, neither one of them's been injured. We're going through. It's working exactly the way that it's supposed to. But this is what these guys talked about. I mean, Quinshawn, you got to understand, his first 2 years at Ole Miss, he was a workhorse, man. He was getting hundreds of carries a year. And for him, running backs have a finite lifespan. They all know that. So one of the things he came here was so that he didn't have to be like that Bill Cow that carried, every other play that he was getting the ball and taking that type of punishment. And it's working to perfection right now. And, especially in a Chip Kelly offense that could get those guys, just wide grass to run. And they haven't even activated, I'd say maybe even 30% of the offense yet because they haven't started running Will Howard. Once they start running Will Howard with the band, it's gonna make Trey and Quinshawn even that much more effective. So no, he's definitely a pleasure to watch out there. A different style running back than Trey, but those guys, man, they complement each other well, and it's just so nice that every time you hand the ball off, you're thinking it's going to go all the way, and because they've shown that big playability, and they certainly showed it it was fully on display last Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm going to break down a little bit more of this because this is great. We got a nice end zone shot here, and there's some. I was rewatching it while you were talking, but Josh Fryer's excellent here. Again, this is a double team. Him and is that 89 because Merrick? Yeah, it looks like it is. So single block here, nice double team here by Seth McLaughlin and Donnie up to here. You got your single block here. You got a double team here to here. So he's trying to get the tight end on this and then release up and get a piece of that. Chip to there, here. Then you got Carnell. And then basically this guy who's going to go with the motion is he's got to get Quinshawn. So we get a little eye candy going here where we get the motion across, get the safeties to rock and roll where he comes up and comes back. Again, you can kind of see what's going on. So yeah, you kind of, this is really, really good because you get this safety, he dives back. So that little bit of space gives us a little bit more room to run. And this safety rocks up to take, the motion guy just in case it's a jet motion. Cause this is kind of the tempo of a jet. It obviously isn't a jet, but he's looking for him here. And then again, this is excellent by Josh Fryer. Gets him jacked up the way you want it, gets the tight end on it. Tight end gets good surface. Josh works up to this linebacker. Again, this is literally a clinic tape. This is as good as you can do this block. Tigra's good. Tigra just has to cover the guy up. Don't let him win inside. Don't let him spike inside. Double team here is good with Donnie and Seth. Again, this is really good considering Donnie's missed a lot of practice. It's tough here, but Donnie gets just enough of this guy. If I was Seth, I'd say hang on this a little bit longer because you don't really have a threat on this guy yet. But he kind of the linebacker kind of skips in here, and so it triggers Seth to jump off. But again, I'd let him hang for a hair longer. But this is good enough. Donnie gets enough, and then Cardinal gets in here, digs him out. Josh Simmons does a great job. Again, Josh steps inside here and does like a little pivot just to make sure that this guy does not go inside. That's the only way that this play doesn't work is if somehow he lets him get inside because he has no help. So if this guy spikes inside here, he's going to hit Quinn in the backfield for a loss of 5. So his whole coaching point is step inside and kind of wheel this guy out because he doesn't have to kill this guy. He just has to wall him off, which he does here. Pushes him out. He's a light guy, so he's easy to push around. And then Carnell gets just enough. Again, we talked about Chip Kelly demanding these receivers block. Carnell makes this whole play because if Carnell doesn't get this done, or if he takes a break and chills, then this guy's right in the hole. But Carnell just gets enough of them, squares up. This is this is great technique. He's got his hands inside, great arc in the back. Everyone's covered up here. So basically now you're down to, you've got all this grass and it's literally here and here. So, Quinn's going to get at least 20. And with his speed and with his spin move that he has from the video game, he's almost to the crib, and I'm sure he was dying when you're this close, you're just dying to get that last little bit, but he didn't get caught that next time. But Nevada, your thoughts? Because again, I know that Justin Fry has been beaten to death, and so is the offensive line. But again, we were the ones after week 1 where I was like, I think our line's going to be fine. We don't have our All-American left guard, who again, you saw him, we ran right behind Donnie there. So what are your thoughts? Because again, I think that those guys are coming along. Now, can they be better? Of course. They're not robots. They're not sentinels. Are not perfect, but that play is very well blocked. Literally, other than Seth, Seth maybe could hang for a split second longer, but everybody else on that play was about as perfect as you can get from a technical standpoint. But what are your thoughts, Nevada?
Yeah, no, look, they did a lot of that. There was a lot of that going on. When you run for 9 yards a carry or whatever they do, there was a lot of good blocking, and but like you said, with good play design, the blocking doesn't need to be the 5 blocks of granite up there, and everybody's like pancaking their guy. It just got to be, hey, make sure this guy doesn't cut inside. Swing your booty around and keep this guy to the outside, and let the guy in. For Carnell, he doesn't have to do an Evan Spencer, destroy 2 guys in the block, but yeah, get your face, your face mask on him, arch your back, keep your shoulders in front of him, and let Quinshon do his thing. So now I think great play design makes it easy on an offensive line, and that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing a combination of great talent with great design, and that's why I knew that the offensive line is going to be through some challenges this year when we play better defensive lines, when we play defensive lines that are doing more things or blitzing or doing something, and it's not always going to work that way. But I love the way that the offense is coming along. It was fun seeing them with Donnie there because we haven't had a complete line yet this year, and so I think we're just getting our first glimpse. But as you said in the preamble, the season's already 22% over, man. So which is that makes me a sad panda because these seasons just go by so fast, and we're already 3 games in. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what they do against Michigan State. Michigan State will be a much better test. Michigan State did a nice job against Boston College, against a clever Boston College, offense, with Bill O'Brien and a running quarterback and things. So I think they're going to be a nice test for us, and it's a great challenge for the offense. And as we mentioned earlier, the defense is getting an earful, so they're going to come out smoking on Saturday night as well. So it should be a fun night all the way around.
I think the guy that's really going to come out smoking is JJ. Because again, they've got a freshman receiver who's legit. Like if it wasn't for JJ and Ryan Williams, then he's the best receiver in the country by far. He's a monster. But I always think that there's a little bit of something to kids when you're the best receiver in the country, or you're one of the best players in the Big Ten, or the best tackle. Like there's always this kind of thought process where you want to be the best tackle, whatever your position is, best tackle, best guard. Because I remember when I played, I was like, I want to be the best tackle on the field every time I play. Now, and again, there were days where Joe Thomas is on the field with me, and Jake Long, and Doug Free, and Justin Blaylock, and Levi Brown. I mean, just Jake Long, Joe Thomas, and Levi Brown. Those guys literally all were top 5 picks in the NFL draft. So those guys, I mean, I'm talking elite tackles in the Big Ten. Marshall Yonda was a tackle. I mean, Joe Thomas is first ballot Hall of Famer. Yonda is a fringe Hall of Famer. Jake Long, injuries derailed his career, but he was the first overall pick. Levi didn't really live up to the billing, but he was 5th overall pick. But, I think that there's going to be some guys that are going to, this quarterback's decent, and I think that we'll have a better chance to rush the passer this week because they're going to be throwing it. That's what they're going to have to do against us, against our defense. So they're not going to be able to sit there and try to run versus Tyleek and those guys because they're not good on the offensive line. They're going to get ran over by our front. They've been terrible on the offensive line for really, like, since the J.D. Duplain era. It's been bad up front at Michigan State, and they're going to be even worse this year. So I think that this will be a revenge game for our front, and I think that the defense. Like I said, Jim Knowles not giving anything to the players. It kind of sets the tone that, this is unacceptable, and this is not silver bullet football. Which again, I live in a very different light, and you can call me a softy or a sunshine pumper, but we're like second in the nation in total defense, so I'm good. You can call me a sunshine pumper, I guess, because we're not first. But can we get better? Of course, we can always get better. Every aspect of your life can always get better, including Ohio State's defense. So, but I'm going to enjoy it because, again, next year I'm not going to get to watch Jack Sawyer, and I'm not going to get to watch Tyleek and Cody Simon and a lot of these guys. So that's just my mentality. Nevada, we can dig into some super chats. They're starting to pile up, so let's smoke through some of these. Do you have anything you want to say before we get into super chats?
No, just I love that when Knowles is snarly with the defense, man. That nothing makes me happier than snarling against coaching staffs, because I think complacency is the big enemy for Ohio State, and I'm really glad to hear that the defense is going to be the opposite of complacent this week.
Yeah, he put some hot sauce on his vegan corn dog today at lunch, so I know it's going to be a really rough Bloody Tuesday practice tomorrow. Our little vegan DC. Richard Good, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, Buckeye Rich in Virginia, celebrating a big birthday, officially a seasoned citizen now. Well, congratulations, man. Happy birthday. I appreciate you being on here. I know that you're on here a ton. So yeah, I appreciate that. Nevada, any birthday wishes for our boy, Richard Good?
Yeah, well, happy birthday. Is there a number? Do we have a number for what number birthday this is?
When are you officially a senior? He says a seasoned citizen. Is that supposed to be like a play on a senior citizen? Is that 65?
Maybe like I think like a senior citizen, probably senior citizen. Yeah.
Is that 65?
I think so. I'm not quite sure. I think it's probably right. I tell you, I was at Del Taco and they gave me like the senior discount on my thing.
Oh no!
They did, man, and I made them take it back. I gave them the money. I like, take back the money.
He said, "I am not old. I promise you.
I am not that old. Take back my money."
So we can't
only 55, and I'm like, I refuse. I'm paying full price for this Del Beef burrito, man. I'm not taking that 19 cents off.
No, really? You literally said, "Here's my 2 dimes."
I'm not taking the senior discount. I'm not taking the senior discount. I refuse.
So I can't use your senior 2-for-1, 2 for Tuesday admission stuff at Sapphire anymore. I used to always see you guys that. I'm with Pops.
You got to use the secret word, man. The secret word. I gave up the secret word on the message board the other day for the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas. For years, the secret word was Macaulay Culkin. If you use that word, that got you to the front of any line, got you into any club, got you into Beecher's, any of those things. Macaulay Culkin was the secret word, and they only gave it to like their Uber VIPs. But yeah, Macaulay Culkin. That was the secret word at the Hard Rock. When the Hard Rock was the Hard Rock, and that place was banging. When the Circle Bar was like 17 people deep and everything like that, Macaulay Culkin opened every door there.
Diddy party.
It was better than a Diddy party. It was better than
You weren't going to federal prison for the rest of your life afterwards.
no, exactly. I lost
Oh,
myself at a
at Beecher's Madhouse.
at Beaches Meadow.
Jeff Beecher's my boy, man. I love him. I met him with Patrick Schwarzenegger. He's awesome. I was like, dude, I used Macaulay Culkin. I'm gonna put that on my. I'm gonna send him this tonight.
Yeah.
All right, Madamus Prime Entertainment. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, my man. Is there anyone more proud of our run game than Jim Tressel right now? We look like we have grease on as we break tackles. 3 really good running backs. Nevada OH. I mean, these guys get a lot more space than we did with Tress, man. We used to run Dave and Power, and we ran Power and ISO about half the game and zone, and yeah, we didn't. It was basically like Beanie take a couple aspirin before the game because we're gonna run you up in the gut. We're not gonna. I don't know. I mean, these guys seem like they get a little bit more space now with the modern offense that we run here, but yeah, I know Trust loves running the ball, and when I talk to him, after spring, he's like, the thing about Chip is he's gonna run the ball. I mean. And he's going to run that quarterback. He's going to get that. He's going to get, Ryan off of our quarterbacks are made of porcelain. Our quarterbacks are all soft pansies. And he's going to start running them a little bit. So I was like, everybody else gets hit on the field. So why can't the quarterback get hit a couple times? He's not going to die. So sure as can be. And we've saved real hard. But again, I think when we get into nut cutting time, we get to Oregon, I think you break out the QB run against Oregon. And all of a sudden they'll be like, oh my God, how are we supposed to stop everything? And then you throw that layer on top of it. Because again, I watch football as much as any human being. I love watching football. And like tonight, you can watch Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels. I mean, yesterday, Justin Fields literally won the game with his legs, like always. So, running QBs are the hardest thing to stop in football defensively. There's nothing tougher. So, I'm just saying, like, that's what, is going to be the meta here. So, Nevada, what are your thoughts? Is there anyone more proud of a run game than Jim Tressel right now? We look like we have grease on as we break tackles. 3 really good running backs. Again, I appreciate you, Madamus Prime. Thank you for the super chat. Your thoughts about it?
Yeah, no, I mean, Chip's kind of brought the running game back to Ohio State. And, we've talked about this many times, but, we went 3 years without a rushing TD from QB1. And Chip Kelly, we've got 2 touchdowns already, rushing TDs from Will Howard in 3 games. So it just shows you, I mean, it was absolutely a strategy. It wasn't happenstance. It wasn't just bad luck. It wasn't just whatever. That was by design. We were being told to not run our quarterback, and that was a Ryan Day thing. And I think it was an absolutely huge mistake. I think we praise Ryan on the show when we think he does things well, and we're not afraid or we're not encumbered in any way, so we can criticize him. But I think his inability to run the quarterback was an absolutely colossal mistake, and really, really hurt us. But thank goodness we got Will Howard here. Thank goodness we've got Chip Kelly here, because we'll see the quarterback run mode fully activated as we go along the season. But 2 touchdowns already in 3 games is crazy after 3 years of 0.
Yeah, and we also, because I got the clip ready. We busted out the sneak, baby. We busted out the sneak. We brought the window dressing in the form of the old T formation, the old Woody Hayes. So these guys are thinking, oh God, is it going to go this way? Is it going to go this way? What's it going to do? And all we do is just go bloop. Sneak, easy peasy, easy money. The easiest play could ever. So, I mean, there was a time where we refused the quarterback sneak, Nevada, and I know that you're the biggest proponent of the quarterback sneak, maybe on earth. Did that bring a tear to your eye, seeing us sneak it in from the 1 yard line and get a nice, easy touchdown?
Well, especially when you see that defense. I mean, they had one guy on the center and nobody else in the A and B gap, and that can be an automatic. That can be that could just be communication between the quarterback and the center. Call whatever and just audible and just do that. And it's easy. It's virtually impossible to stop if you execute it properly. Even if you execute it not properly, it's virtually impossible to stop. And for some reason, we would snap the ball back 3.5 yards and then try to run some delay play or something while trying to get 6 inches go forward. That never has made sense to me. Um, and so, yeah, seeing him do that, and they didn't, like I said, they didn't even run it particularly well, and Will Howard got in the end zone comfortably. And yeah, I love stuff like that just because we've been doing it on hard mode for 3 years. 3 years is a long time. That's a long time of suffering, and then I have to sit there and listen to complaints about the offensive line and about the running backs, and Trey Henderson sucks, the offensive line sucks, the coach sucks, and I'm like, guys, it's the scheme. It's just dumb scheme. Like, don't do that. Don't run plays that are slow developing. That are nobody can go through that if you're outnumbered at the point of attack. No running back is going to be effective if he's hit 3 yards in the backfield before he has a chance to build up any momentum. It's simple physics. So watching Will Howard going there, yeah, that did a heart good for this old man who's getting his senior discount at Del Taco. It did my heart good to see that happen before I die. But now I've got my discount, and I've seen Will Howard score a touchdown.
A discount and a quarterback sneak in the same year.
Yes,
that's amazing.
It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful.
Well, it's
thing.
like you watch. I'm sure you watched Monday Night Football. You watched the Chiefs and Falcons last night. And it's like they've got 4th and 1 to win the game or to get the first down, convert, and go have like 4 shots at the end zone. And like Atlanta runs this like wing-ding formation, and they hand it off and goes to the side. They need 1 yard, and they run laterally, and they get stuffed by the Chiefs. And I'm just like, why would you not at least try to sneak it? Now I know Chris Jones is in there and he's a monster, but it's like running laterally versus an NFL defense and then relying on your tight ends to hold the edge is suicide. And it was. And they look like total morons, even though they've got all these great offensive players and Kirk Cousins and Bijan Robinson. They just run sideways and get stuffed. So again, thank God, because again, the Falcons did not hire Bill Belichick, and I don't have any coach in the history of mankind that's called more quarterback sneaks, because Tom Brady became the GOAT of quarterback sneaks because Bill Belichick loves the quarterback sneak because it converts at a really high rate if you're good at it. So get good at it, and it's good to get that those free deals in. Ravia Tube, thank you for the 20. Appreciate you. I hope you're doing good tonight. Guys, Will Howard's ability to stretch the field vertical is concerning. We're all dismissing it as a low percentage throw, but my question is, something can be coached, or does he not have the arm strength? Well, I think he's become much more accurate than he was at Kansas State because they've coached the crap out of him for the last, 9 months that he's been here. But I think he's got plenty of arm. Again, like Ryan, you understand, Ryan Day is staking his career on Will Allen's ability to throw. So, again, when he went out and could have gotten Cam Ward or Will Howard, we turned down Cam Ward to get Will Howard. Cam Ward's first in the Heisman. So, I'm just saying, I think he's got plenty of arm. I know that everyone's worried about the J.J. Smith, which I thought he threw the ball fine. J.J.'s got to come make a play. And I know J.J. is incredible, and he's the best freshman receiver maybe in the history of the game. But he needed to make a play on that, and he didn't make it. So, I'm just saying, I think he's got plenty of arm strength and talent, and we don't take a ton of deep shots because people are playing too high safeties a lot. So, you can only take what they give you. And again, a lot of the times, like, we don't really need to do it because we can get it to our guys in space, and they've got. I mean, I don't know if there can't be a team in the nation that has more yards after catch than we do. We've hit these tunnel screens and we've hit these slants, and they catch the ball within 5 or 10 yards of the line of scrimmage and they go for 70. So, again, I don't know. I think he's been fine. Nevada, what are your thoughts? Review Tube again, he says, and again, thank you for the 20, he says, guys, Will Howard's ability to stretch the field vertical is concerning. We're all dismissing it as a low percentage throw, but no, my question is that something that can be coached, or does he not have the arm strength? What are your thoughts, Nevada?
So much. I mean, it's funny how narratives start and then they kind of take on a life of their own on this stuff. Okay, here's the stat. This is the number. And I know people hate numbers, but I'm going to give you guys the numbers. Ohio State has thrown the ball. Will Howard has thrown the ball in the air, not completed passes that were run. We're not talking about yards after catch. We're talking about in the air over 20 yards 7 times. He's completed 3 of the 7. 3 of 7 on passes over 20 yards is actually very good. For his quarterback rating is 80.9 in that bracket, which is his second highest of any of the 4 brackets of throwing: behind the line, 0 to 9 yards, 9 to 20, 20 beyond. It's the second highest percentage that he had, or second highest quarterback rating that he has is on his 3 to 7. The pass that he threw this last weekend was perfect. Go back and watch the pass. I linked this on the board. J.J. Smith never breaks stride. Never break. The defensive back does a nice job of pinning him on the sideline, and J.J. doesn't fight through. But in terms of the ball being underthrown, J.J. If he throws it any further, J.J. doesn't ever touch it. He throws it literally to the only spot it can be thrown to, and J.J. doesn't fight through the guy, and the guy makes a really good play, makes the interception. But I'm telling you, 100%, that is not on Will Howard. Go read Chip Kelly's offensive manifesto. It's online. I linked this as well on our site at BuckeyeScoop.com. He literally says in there, we are trying to get the wide receiver set up in a one-on-one situation. We tell the wide receiver, you're not going to be open. Your job is to fight and get the ball. And the quarterback, you just throw it and let the wide receiver make a play. That is literally what they're taught to do. So the first part about it being underthrown, it wasn't underthrown. J.J. Smith is running full out, and the ball literally lands right where he puts it on. If he fights through the thing at all, he either knocks it down or he makes a play. That's on J.J. Smith. But no, Will's a very good deep ball thrower. He's been good in practice. He's been good in the games. And so I like I said, I don't understand where this is coming from that he can't throw the deep ball. It's just not true. But again, go back and watch the tape. Somebody show me the tape of that pass this weekend and show me where J.J. Smith breaks stride, slows down, or does anything. The only thing that bad happened in the play was the ball got intercepted. But that one was not on Will Howard.
I totally agree. Richard, good. Thank you for the 5. My claim to fame: our fraternity tore down the goalposts after Art Schleisner beat the team up north in Ann Arbor. That's kind of ballsy. So you tore down the goalposts on a road venue. Pop quiz: what was the year? I think it was 81. That's when they won up there. It wasn't real common.
No, they won seven. They won in '79. They won that was the Buckeye block party. That was the block of the punt and the win, and then they won in '81. That was Broadnax's block, and Schleischer went into the end zone on that one. So those are the 2 that I remember. I'm not sure which one they tore down the goalpost, but that is quite an accomplishment.
Did Schleisner start in '79 too, or just '81?
Yeah, no, '79.
Well, there you go.
And that's the year they went to the Rose Bowl.
I love it. Appreciate you, my man. Ryan Mullen, thank you for the buck. If you have a question, try to toss that on there. David K, thank you for the 10. Hope you're doing good. Curious to know if you have any info on Hairball not getting suspended by the NFL when Tress got 7 games. Also, does everyone agree that Mr. Brightside has got to be the worst pump-up song ever? Nevada OH. Nevada, I'll let you go first on this one. Your thoughts on Hairball not getting suspended by the NFL, and is Mr. Brightside the worst pump-up song of all time?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think the NFL, what the NFL has said is they're going to wait till this whole thing is kind of adjudicated, and then they'll reserve the right to act. We'll see how that goes, but I totally agree that if Tressel got whacked and Terrell Pryor got whacked, that Jim Harbaugh absolutely should get whacked. And I do think there'll be some sort of a punishment for him, a fine, a suspension, a draft. Something's going to happen because Goodell will do something. But until that does, we'll have to keep our fingers crossed. The fact that Michigan chose Mr. Brightside as their song. Do you know what that's about?
Well, I knew what it was about, but I just Googled it while you're talking. It's literally about a man who's jealous and paranoid that his partner is cheating on him. And it's based upon the lead singer, Brandon Flowers, his experience when he was 19 years old, and he found his girlfriend cheating on him in a bar in Las Vegas. So it's a story. Yeah, it's a story about a guy finding out that his girlfriend's cheating on him. And it's like, again, I hated that song, and I always thought it was douchey and emo or whatever. And then Michigan adopts it. Then I really hate it. So I'm like, this is the dumbest song of all time. And I'm like, I mean, could you pick a dumber like hype song? That is their thing right there. It's like a song about a dude crying the blues because his girlfriend is cheating on him. And I'm just like, dude, like, get over it. You know, you're a rock star. You should be okay. But you want to cry about it, then cry about it. But yeah, it's one of the dumbest songs of all time, and it's just like, I don't know. But I hate it. I always hated that song, and then when Michigan, like that's like their theme song. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys. You know, give me "Hang On, Sloopy" or something like that any day of the week. Your thoughts, Nevada?
Well, I've always thought that we should like you've got Wisconsin's got Jump Around, and they've got Mr. Brightside. We should have something like Funky Town or play that funky music, White Boy, or something like that. You know, or Hang On, Sloopy. Either one of those is good.
If you could pick an Ohio State song, what would it be? Like one that like gets the crowd, or because like the Steelers play Renegade, and that's kind of like their thing. A lot of the times it happens by accident. I don't know what it would be. They've been playing Fiend a lot. They play Fiend, the Travis Scott song, which is kind of hilarious, but I don't know if the old timers aren't going to know that one. They're like, Fiend, what is it? What do they sing? Oh God. I don't know. They've gotten like the music's gotten a little bit better. I think that the recruiting staff got a hold of them and said start playing less Taylor Swift and start playing more rap music because it's a little bit more urban than it's been. Which again, I'm fine with because that's what I listen to. But I don't know what I would pick for a song. I know it wouldn't be about finding out my girlfriend's cheating on me. Like what are you supposed to go like sob on the blocking sled or go like if you're an offensive lineman, are you supposed to listen to that and start crying on the bench because this is the saddest song ever? It's like, give me a break.
Michigan is so douchey though. It's like this dumb song that they can all remember the words to. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I mean, they're so douchey. I really hate that program, and I love the fact that that they threw for 32 yards. I love the fact that they're only 9.5-point favorites. Actually, I bet them at 10, but the line actually moved against me after it actually moved from 10 to 9. They were only a 10-point favorite at home against Minnesota, who Minnesota is terrible. I mean, like truly awful. And they're only a 10-point favorite at home. That tells you how little respect Michigan has. I'm calling it right now. I am betting Michigan and laying the 10 points this week because Minnesota is just impossibly terrible. So that's my that's only for entertainment purposes, only not for purposes of endorsing anything. But I am betting Michigan this week because I have no qualms about making money off of Michigan because Minnesota is so bad, guys. They're really, really bad.
It's because you are Mr. Brightside, right?
I'm Mr. Brightside.
It's the dumbest song ever. And they all sing it in unison. I was like, oh God, I hate that. God. That's why I hate the fact that like we've lost to them. And they actually they play that as like their post game anthem, and they're all excited, and they take a little video in the snow.
Let's see what they're playing this year. Let's see what they're playing. We'll see if they're doing the little waving thing and all stuff like that. You know what'll be funny is I'll bet you because whoever our DJ is in the horseshoe now is awesome, and if a team has like a theme song and we smash them at home, they play it like every time we beat Wisconsin, which is like every time they come to the shoe now. They play Jump Around in the fourth quarter, and it's the greatest thing ever because like they play that. Penn State had like Sweet Caroline because again, whatever. Pause. Jerry Sandusky. It's like they had to stop playing that for a little while. But if they play Mr. Brightside in the fourth quarter when Ohio State's up 49-7, that'll be. I can deal with that because that'd be the funniest thing ever. Because that's what they play during their wonderful victories. And all of a sudden, like the little DJ will hit the button, and all of a sudden, oh my God, they're playing Mr. Brightside. I love it. Mr. Brightside. Oh God, I just want to throw up. It's so awful.
It's so terrible. Brennan, Shelley, thanks for the 20. Hope you're good, my friend. The Buffalo Wild Wings bacon melt is the business. See, I love that. I love that. These are the kind of super chats that I love when I get to figure out something else to eat because I'm starving right now. Everyone should definitely check that out. I love them in Twin Peaks. Appreciate you, my man. Nevada, have you had the bacon melt? That sounds delicious.
What is that? Is that
It's
like
got
some
it's like a cheeseburger, or it's just like a
is that a
pound.
derivative of the smash burger? Because I do like my smash burgers there, but is that like a different kind of burger?
I mean, what did you get when we were in Vegas and we ate at Buffalo Wild Wings? I mean, I know that you ate like a giant
Smash
burger. Yeah,
smash burgers, double
yeah.
smash, double bacon cheese smash.
You're like, where do you want to go out to eat? I was like, Buffalo Wild Wings. And you're like, it's like literally right across the bridge. We went over there. I had like a quesadilla and a giant burger and like 4 beers. I was like, this is all I need in my life. I don't need anything fancy, and this is delicious. So I think it's something like that. But again, they've changed their menu, and it's like killing it. So I'm loving the game right now. I was trying to look it up real quick. SC Buckeye, thanks for the 5. Thanks for being ultra as well. Q and Trey are not selfish. Multiple times they choose to change out near the goal game. Q tapping helmet and Trey his thigh. Monster stiff arms, Nevada OH. Yeah, I think that it's pretty spectacular how those two have acted. I think that it's again, like, they're businessmen. Like, again, they've got agents. They know analytics. They know that like they've got a short shelf life in the league to make as much money as possible, and they're trying to do that. So again, I think that it's really smart of them. It's prudent to keep more tread on the tires. And again, like, you look at like a classic one, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. They signed David Montgomery in free agency. They draft Jahmyr Gibbs in like the top 12 or whatever it was. And those guys are devastating to go against. I mean, you've got two different styles, but they're two Pro Bowl level running backs in Detroit. And they're a problem, and again, if one of them had the lion's share of the work, would he be more, get more Pro Bowl ballots or whatever? Sure. But I think it extends their career to do that. Real quick, Nevada, before you answer that, I do have to put the bacon patty melt on the screen because that thing does look fire. It has bacon, it has patty, and it also has melt. So B-Dubs bringing the heat with the creations. That thing looks like...
So it's a bacon patty melt.
Yes,
Okay.
so it includes a patty, which is like a burger. A patty.
Yeah, it's like a burger, but you're doing it on toast. You're not doing the bun. It's like a patty melt, but with bacon.
Yes.
So yeah, very, very good.
We're getting deep. We're getting deep around these parts, I'm telling you.
I like it.
All right, Nevada, your thoughts. Again, SC Buckeye, thanks for the 5. Q and Trey are not selfish. Multiple times they chose to change out near the goal line. Q tapping helmet and Trey tapping his side. Monster stiff arms, Nevada OH.
And yeah, look, those two get along. It's like a goalie. In hockey with goalies, you have like your goalie partner, and when you have good goalie partners and they're really rooting for each other, it can really add a dynamic. The running backs the same way, and because not everybody always likes each other, but those two guys genuinely, they like each other, they respect each other, they respect what each other do for their business as well as for their team. And Trey's a different cat too, man. I'm telling you, he's a really, really good kid, like really, really good kid. And he was the guy that recruited Quinchon here. There's no there's no animus between those two or any jealousy or anything like that. Those guys are really, truly rooting for each other, and that's the way it plays out in the field. So it's fun to watch that.
Totally agree. Richard, good. Thank you for the 5. Nevadabuck, what are the odds we play an undefeated Indiana Hoosier team on November 23rd? They look pretty good, Nevada. What are your thoughts on that?
I like Indiana. Well, I've said that, up until now, Michigan has not gone on the road. Now, we haven't gone on the road either, but at least we're going this week. Michigan's home again this week. But, they've got to go to Illinois, Washington, Indiana, and then Columbus. And all 4 of those games are losable games for Michigan. Indiana's going to be good. I'm glad that when we're playing Indiana, that game is not in Bloomington. Because if that game was in Bloomington the week before the Michigan game, that game could be a little problematic. The fact that it's in Columbus, that solves a lot of problems in terms of getting up and staying focused and things like that. But Indiana's sneaky good this year. As bad as I think Minnesota is, I think Indiana's a real good football team, and I think they're going to give people problems.
Yeah, I love Indiana this year. Again, They've got a great coach. The guy, he came from James Madison. I mean, you saw how James Madison left some of their staff behind, and they just rolled UNC. I mean, he built a really powerful program. He does not lack for confidence, but I think he's a really good coach. I watch those guys, and they get after you. They come off the ball. They smashed UCLA on the road. They're scoring a lot of points. They're really physical. So they're probably the second or third best team on our schedule. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, they're no lower than 4. Like, when you look at Penn State, obviously Penn State's really good. Oregon, Michigan, are they better than Michigan is the question. I don't know. They're scoring a lot of points, though. And their offense is a lot more diverse than Michigan's. I know that. But, in general, with recruiting, they haven't had nearly as much talent as Michigan. But they're well coached, and they're going to play hard. And that game's turning into what'll be a pretty it'll be a good test. It's not going to be something that'll be, I think, but I mean, they played us hard last year. I mean, it wasn't real clean when we played them last year. And obviously we took their defensive coordinator, Matt Gary. He's with us now, but they're doing pretty good. Larry Daniels, thank you for the 5. Thanks for being an Ultra member as well. You are absolutely correct. Enjoy every game. We do. This team is like $100 stake. This may not happen again, but we hope it will. Nevada, this is like $100 steak with like 100 different side dishes before the steak shows up. It's like one of those. So I think that it's one of those kind of nights. You're just like, oh, I'm just trying to have a buzz and not feel like Jabba the Hutt when I walk out of here. But what are your thoughts? Again, I tell people, I'm like, look, as much as everybody wants to have anxiety and freak out and hate life and be whatever. I'm like, dude, like, you're going to blink and it's going to be February and you're going to be wishing it was football season. And then you're going to be wishing, man, I wish we saw Jack Sawyer and Trey Henderson and Emeka and Will Howard and the whole lot. Yeah, because, again, I'm going to enjoy every day of this season. I don't care how much people want to hate and be bored and angry and sad and we're not this or we're not that. This team is impossibly good. And, again, Ryan's got a big chip. He's playing video poker right now, 100 play video poker, max bet, and he got dealt a royal flush. That's what the season is. So as long as you don't unplug the machine or burn the building down, this is going to be a jackpot. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I just think, it's easy to get caught up in what's wrong with your team. You just have to remember, we watch Ohio State more than any other team. So, with these other teams, you don't see every flaw. It's the old familiarity breeds contempt thing. But this is a special Ohio State team, and it's got very few flaws. I mean, when your flaws are your kickoff guy seems to have the yips, and it's hard to talk about defensively. Problems with the number 2 defense in the country, but our linebacker play has got to be better. But other than that, no, man, just sit back, enjoy the show. Don't get caught up in what's wrong. Just enjoy the 98% of it that's right, because it is a special team. And getting to see Chip Kelly operate with Ryan Day, with this staff, man, we may never ever see anything like this again. And while I like to think Chip's going to be here forever, this could be his only year. We don't know. Nothing's guaranteed in life. So enjoy the Chip Kelly show while it's here, because it's going to be over way too soon. I can tell you that.
Well, like, I love Chip Kelly, and I know that he wants to be an offensive coordinator, but, like, when you look around the country and, you realize that, like, when you're a coordinator at Ohio State, like, it is like a rocket ship to the top of the coaching, board. Like the coaching prospect big board. I know people mentioned him at Florida. He does not fit the Florida Gator culture at all. So he's not going to Florida. But, like, there's going to be somebody who says, wow, Ohio State's got the greatest offense ever, and their scheme's amazing, and he's got all these great players and whatever. And, like, again, it's going to be compelling. I mean, I can't think of, if they made me the athletic director at Ohio State today and Ryan Day went to the Chicago Bears to coach Caleb Williams, I don't know who I want to pick over Chip Kelly. I mean, I would love if Chip Kelly was the head coach here. But again, I like him even better with Ryan Day as the head coach and Chip as the OC. So that's how much I think of Chip Kelly. I think he's that good. Now, I know that people say, oh, he hasn't won, whatever. I'm like, dude, like, nobody's ever won anything at Oregon. And nobody's ever won anything at UCLA, at least not in my lifetime. They might, maybe in the 60s or something, they might have been good, but UCLA has never been a threat in my entire lifetime. And Oregon has been, since Chip Kelly left, they fell off a cliff. Obviously, they beat us in 21, and they're good now. But, they were very hit and miss for a long time. So, Ohio Refugee, thank you for the 10. Thanks for being an Ultra member as well. Not world news, but JTT needs to show up this game or play Caden Curry. Will needs to throw the ball on time, and JJ run underneath of it. The running backs are nasty. Go Bucks. Nevada, your thoughts on JTT? Appreciate you again, Ohio Refugee, but thoughts that not world news or JTT needs to show up this game or play Caden Curry. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any personnel changes being made. But yeah, JTT's got to be better. I mean, he's got to be better. We were looking at his stats, and he's like, what does Reggie Jackson and JT Malone both have in common? They're both Mr. October, and that I think like 75% of his sacks or 80% of his sacks are in the month of October, and really it's come in like 4 games it's been like a handful of games. There'll be a game where he'll just break out and he'll have multiple sacks, 1.5, 2, or whatever. And then he'll go, 7, 8, 9 other games and not really make splash plays. So I agree with you. It's time. I mean, he's a 4-year starter. So if not now, when? But I'd like to see more out of him. With great power comes great responsibility, and he needs to be better. And up until now, this season, he's just been just a guy, in my opinion. And that's not dissing on him. But when you expect somebody to be first-team All-American, double-digit sack, potential first-round type of talent, you want to see him play that way, and we have not seen that yet. And I'm hopeful we'll see that in the future.
Well, yeah, it was funny. I was doing some research last night, or maybe it was this morning, I can't remember. But talking to Nevada, I was like, he's got 12.5 sacks in his 40 starts, or whatever it is, and 9 of them, or 9.5 of them, some crazy number, are in the month of October. So I was like, well, his nickname might be Mr. October now, because he doesn't do much in September or November, or he had one against Missouri. So he had one in the bowl game. So he did have one in a bowl game, but it was hilarious. I was like, so he gets 75 or 80% of his sacks in the month of October, which is next week. So again, Mr. October, JT2 Malone, hopefully he can turn it up a little bit. Jim Jackson, thank you for the 5. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Hey, Kirk, do you think Julian Sain will get more playing time this year? And are you still having a merch shop? I got to check on that. I sent an email out today. Nevada OH. I think Julian needs to play. I think he needs to be the backup. Again, I think Devin is a very nice kid. But, he didn't light the world on fire this past game. And those are reps that should go to Julian Sain, because Julian's going to be here next year for sure. Devin, I'm not sure. But Julian's not going anywhere. So I would get him ready to go and be the starter next year and get him some live reps, some live throws. So our 2 line's good enough. He's not going to get killed. But I think he needs to get out there and play a little bit, especially as we start getting into bigger games, because you get into these bigger games, you're not going to be playing the backups. So every rep that we don't give to Julian Sain, I think, is a waste. Nevada, your thoughts. Jim Jackson, again, thanks for the 5. He says, do you think Julian Sain will get more playing time this year? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, I would have liked to have seen him get more. It's been hard, just kind of the way the games have kind of flown, because you want to get Will his reps as well. And, that's one of the problems with a quick stride offense like we had against Marshall, was we didn't get a lot of chance to do a lot of things. Went out in the field, scoring 2 plays, go out in the field, scoring 1 play. That type of stuff can really, mess with your rotation. So, no, I think Julian's ready. I think it's probably Julian Sain time. That's not trying to be mean at Devin. I like Devin, great family, great kid, but I just think Julian's got more upside. And as you said, finite number of, if you had an infinite number of reps, you give them all to him. Everybody gets a thing, but when you've got finite amount, you got to pick. And I think Julian's earned getting the second team reps.
Totally agree. Richard, good. Thank you for the 5. Pop quiz. What year did Art Schleisner beat the team at North in Ann Arbor? I was occasionally a bookie back in the day. Did you say it was 79, 80, or 81? It was one of the 2.
79 and 80 and 81.
He did in both. So there's
Hmm.
the answer. So if it's a trick question, it's actually both, then we nailed it. So appreciate you, Richard. And again, thank you for the super chat. And I hope you're having a great birthday. Glad you're spending it with us. Maurice Clarinet, thanks for the deuce. Who are you most worried about getting injured? Well, Will Howard by far. I mean, obviously he's a quarterback. Yeah, again, I don't think Devin has lit the world on fire, and Julian's a true freshman. So for me, it's Will Howard. I guess if you wanted to run her up, I'd say Josh Simmons. He's left tackle. Obviously, I don't want anyone to get hurt, but I mean, Will Howard would be, I think not great, not optimal. But we've survived. When we lost Braxton was a Heisman favorite, and his shoulder fell out of the socket, and we still won a title with Cardell and with JT, and we didn't really miss a beat. So that's a credit, and we've got a deep quarterback room, so it's not like you're turning it over to like a dead dog. Nevada, your thoughts? Who are you most worried about getting injured?
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it. I think,
I don't know. He keeps picking it on other than Will Howard, right?
yeah, Will Howard and Jimmy Simmons and maybe Cody Simon, because if Cody's gone, then we're really thin at linebacker. So um, let's just hope none of those things happen and pray for good health.
Maurice Clarinet, thanks for the deuce. If you could only have one, do you want Quinshawn or Trey? Nevada, I'll let you go first on this one.
Oh wow, man, that's so hard. That's so hard. I mean, for me, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe Quinshawn. I mean, based upon how they're playing right now and stuff, maybe Quinshawn. Um, but I love Trey. I love me some Trey. I think Trey's an unbelievable blocker, great receiver, great locker room guy, team captain. But maybe Quinshawn by a nose. So 50.1 to 49.9%.
Yeah, I'd take Quinshawn too. I think Quinshawn's got more upside. He's a year younger. Trey's been a great leader. Again, but they're both first round type running backs. I mean, they're both going to be in a battle to be the number one guy taken, in my opinion. Now, again, there might be some guy from somewhere else, but yeah, I mean, Quinshawn's just been such a horse at Ole Miss, and I mean, he's got. It's funny because like it's hard. The hardest part about this is like you can't really pick something that Quinshawn can do that Trey can't do or does like demonstrably better than Trey, and it's vice versa. And like again, I've never seen a situation like that ever. Like when we had Beanie and Pittman, it was like, well, Beanie was bigger. He was 230, and Pitt was probably 205 or whatever he was. It's just different types of backs. These guys are like clones almost. I mean, if you just took their jerseys off and you didn't know what number they were, you shaved off Quinshawn's dreads, like you really couldn't tell the difference between the two of them because they're both 4-3 guys. They're both great receivers. They're both good pass blockers. They're both good teammates. They both have, again, I love guys that have afterburners that when they hit that seam they can go for 70. Those are like key to my heart. Guys that can do that. So that's tough. Brendan Sheila, thanks for the 5, or excuse me, the 10. I appreciate you, my friend. When Quinshawn Judkins stiff armed and laid that gentleman down to rest for the night, chef's kiss, perfect. Yeah, again, they're like, I've said it 50 times in the last probably 6 days. Enjoy the season, guys, because this is the only season you're going to get to see Quinshawn. And we're down 3 games in the shoe already. So, we've only got, 5 left. You're going to blink and the season's going to be over. So you better enjoy it. I mean, everybody wants to fret and be nervous and scared of everything. I'm like, we're not going to get to see any of these guys ever play in the horseshoe again. Any of these seniors or the true juniors are going to take off after this year. So, Nevada, your thoughts? Quinshawn Judkins, stiff arm, laid the dude down to rest. It was beautiful. It was fun to watch. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, he's got a mean stiff. It was fun. It was fun watching it in real time. And then I rerun that thing about 10 times, and he runs violently. And yeah, that was a great play by Quinshawn. Strong kid, knows how to use his hands, and did a nice job on that.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, Nevada, we can wrap this thing up. Any final thoughts? Monday Night Football's on.
I think this is going to be a fun week. Tomorrow's practice is going to be really fun. It's fun watching Knowles get after the defensive guys, really fire those guys up, see what he kind of cooks up this week for Michigan State. Going to be a nice test for Ohio State. And I think the defense is going to be up for the. But I think that Michigan State's a little better than people think. So get ready for a dogfight on Saturday night. It's going to be a fun game.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for kicking it with us tonight. Great night tonight. Awesome night of great film breakdowns, great entertainment. Thank you guys for being a part of this. If you guys enjoy those film breakdowns, toss a Y in the chat. And if you do something excellent for us, give us a follow on Apple Podcasts. Again, Apple Podcasts is huge for us. Type in Buckeye Scoop. You'll see we have one show on there. Click subscribe to it. Even if you guys prefer it on YouTube, it does help us just subscribing. Do the same with Spotify, YouTube. You can do all three. They're absolutely free, and they take maybe 20 seconds to do, and it helps us out tremendously. It's a great way you can give back, help us out, help out the Scoop family, help us keep growing. Again, we appreciate all of your support and everything that you guys do. Again, this is a huge show because you guys make it one each and every night. We appreciate you guys each and every night. And we're going to keep this thing cranking all season long. If you enjoy this content, please leave us a like, click subscribe, also click that little alert bell. Again, we appreciate it. Another great night of great questions, great chat, great everything. So again, there's nothing like it. This Buckeye Scoop chat is amazing. Thank you to all of our regulars that are on here, all of our moderators, and the rest of the crew. With that being said, thank you so much, Buckeye Nation. Thank you, Scoop family. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. Go Bucks.